What's up? What's up? What's poppin'? Man, it's NateDoggSac916 coming at you live from Sacramento. I'm gonna skip the whole intro because this is part two. Yeah, part two of the interview with Angie. So if you guys paid attention to the part one, we were just at the point where in Corpus Christi, Texas, they were closing. A new governor had been elected, and he was closing down the girl home that she was currently being held captive in. And her parents were like, "Okay, I guess we'll take her back now." So, how'd that process go from you going from there back home?
Well, it was weird because when I got on the airplane, one of the people that worked there took me to the airport, and I got on the airplane, and in my mind, I'm flying back to California because that's where I'm thinking I'm going to California home, and the plane lands in Wyoming, or actually I landed in Denver.
Okay.
Denver, Colorado. And my parents were there, and they picked me up, and we drove to Wyoming. I was like, what are we doing? I thought we lived in California. And they were like, no, we moved. So while I was in there, they moved. Okay.
Well, you were there a year, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So
and I didn't know that they moved. And so now I'm 14, and I'm like, okay, well, we live in Wyoming now.
Right.
So we lived out on a ranch,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like about 15 miles out of the town of Riverton, Wyoming. And I mean, it is straight country.
Right.
Well,
you're 15 miles out of town.
Nothing.
In the middle of nowhere.
Absolutely middle of nowhere.
Right.
So, just common thing that we would do is just go for walks and hikes with my dad, go tripping around looking for arrowheads, and my dad would take us arrowhead hunting, me and my brothers. I have four younger brothers.
Right.
Shooting guns and this and that. That's all we did. It was out in the country. Well, came time to go to school and whatnot, and my parents had started their own school.
Okay.
It was a Christian school, and I basically had to go to this school, and I didn't really like it. I just wanted to be normal and go to school like everybody else went to.
Was it a parochial school, or was it just a school ran by Christians?
It was a Christian school.
Okay.
And it had Christian curriculum, but it was weird. My dad was my principal, my mom was my teacher. And I just was like, man, I need to go to regular school.
Right.
And then of course I still had my really I'm a rebel through and through still,
right.
But I was very rebellious, and I was going to do what I wanted to do no matter what. So back to the sneaking out the window, meeting boys and going partying. That's what I did.
So the year in the school didn't change your mindset?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not one bit.
Okay.
I couldn't wait to get out and smoke and drink and have sex and all that. I was just still in that mindset. And I'd met a guy that had this Camaro, and he could come out and pick me up, so I'd sneak out my window, and he'd come pick me up and take me to parties, and it would be like all-nighters, and I'd come home, scraggling home, crawl back in my window at 3 a.m.,
Right.
Well, one night, I came home, he brought me back, and mind you, I could see that fire burning for a long ways. There was a fire burning in the barrel. There was a burn barrel, and it was burning, and my light was on, and I knew all hell was going to hit the fan.
Your light in your room was on?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So I knew that I was busted.
Right.
But I went ahead and I sneaked back in. I got back in my window, and I knew that there would come my dad. And this time, it was really bad. He, of course, beat me. All right. Hit me, kicked me, whatever, beat me up. Then he sat me down on the bed. And my mom was sitting there too. She was in a chair in the room, and he pulled out his .38. Man, he just held it to my head, and he said, "You know what, bitch? I should just kill you now. I'm gonna kill you. Because you're nothing but a whore. And you're no good. You're gonna die anyway. I might as well kill you now. And I cried and begged, and I remember just crying and saying, I'm sorry, Dad, I promise, I swear I'll never do it again. I swear I will be good, I promise. And my mom didn't do anything. She just sat there looking at me. I mean, the hate that grew inside of me became a monster. And so that was what drove me for a long time. So my dad duct taped my hands and feet. I was handcuffed to the bed and duct taped. And that's where they held me for, days on end. I can't even remember how many. And one day, the house was quiet and I heard the car leave. So I knew nobody was home, and I said, I gotta let somebody know what's going on. So I literally got to the phone. I don't know how. I remember, I think I still had the handcuffs on, but I was able to hobble my butt to the phone. And I remember I called my friend. I didn't think about calling police or nothing like that. I just remember calling my friend. And I told him, I said, this is what's going on. My dad has duct taped me and handcuffed me and beat me up, and I'm afraid he's going to kill me, and this and that. Well, so he called the police, and the police showed up at my house, and my dad was forced to unhandcuff me and everything, and I had my chance to tell my story. And I told the police, I said, he did this to me, and he did that, and well, they took my dad. And they said, you're coming downtown with us. We're going to talk to you, or whatever. I don't know what they did to him. I don't know what, I have no idea to this day what they did.
Right.
All I know is that when my dad was leaving, he looked at my mom, and he said, get her out of the state. Take her out of the state. Because he figured if I wasn't in the state, somehow he'd be safe.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
So I remember my mom's friend coming over with her car, and they put me in my mom's friend's car and took me to Grand Junction, Colorado.
Damn.
So the whole way there, I'm like this, looking at, trees, landmarks, this and that, so I could find my way back. Because I didn't know where they were taking me.
Right.
I just knew that I was in a car being taken, and wherever. And I was still handcuffed.
Right.
And then we get there, we get to my mom's friend's house, and a few days had gone by. Now, we were in my mom's friend's car.
Right.
Because, I don't know why, for whatever reason, my mom didn't take the car. She just had her friend take us. The next thing I know, my dad shows up. And I just was determined to get away. I was like, there's no way that I'm out of here. So I'm handcuffed to the bed at my mom's friend's, and I remember slipping out of the handcuffs, and I had a cut on my hand, but I did not care. I was getting out of there. Nothing was gonna stop me, and I slipped my hands out of that handcuff, and I bloodied up and everything, and I grabbed my suitcase. I snuck into the room where my mom and dad were sleeping, and her purse was right by her head, and I grabbed the keys right out of her purse, right by her head when she was sleeping. And I got my suitcase, and I quietly walked out the door, and I quietly got into that little Toyota car. And my dad, he's 6'3", and I'm short, I'm only 5'5", and I'm trying to scoot the seat up, and I can't scoot the seat up because something's blocking it, but I'm like, screw it, I'm just going to start this engine, and I'm out of here. And mind you, I'm only 15 years old.
Right.
And so I did, I split, and I remember finding my way out. I got on the freeway, I got on the road, and I was headed back to Wyoming. And I ran out of gas in this little dinky, absolute podunk, nothing there town, like And I didn't know what I was going to do. And I seen a laundromat. And I walked over and I was looking around. I found a quarter on the ground. I put the quarter in a payphone, back when there was payphones. I'm dating myself. Yeah. Okay, I'll be 54 next month. But I put the quarter in there and I called up the same guy, Paul, my friend. Okay. And he came and got me with his blue Camaro, his Firebird. He had it was a Firebird.
Okay, Firebird.
Not
okay.
a Camaro.
Okay, so Pontiac.
Yeah, man, I was like one of the baby blue ones with the
Mhm.
baby blue rims and everything.
Did he have the big bird on the hood?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. He was the coolest guy in town. Anyway, he came and got me in this nowhere town, and the reason I couldn't scoot the seat up is because that loaded .38 pistol was under the seat. And I don't know to this day what my dad's plans were, but he for all I knew, was going to take me out to the desert and kill me. I don't know.
Right.
So I was like shocked. So my friend Paul, I mean, y'all don't know him nothing, but he took me to a few parties. We got drunk, and he says, you know, in all seriousness, we got to do something about this gun, and we need to take it to the police, and we need to tell them your story. So ultimately, he took me down to the cop shop, and when I told him my story about the gun, gave the gun to them, and at this point, they didn't do anything to my dad. They just took me out of the home and put me in foster care.
Okay.
So the courts took over.
Right.
They owned me now. Like I was a ward of the state.
Right.
And my parents no longer had custody of me.
Right.
So I'm in a foster home, but that didn't change anything. Not at all. I was still gonna go to parties and drink.
Right. And you're in Wyoming now?
I'm in Wyoming.
Okay.
And there's nothing but cowboys and Indians in Wyoming, for real. And
right.
So I did lots of partying. I was partying with all the guys on the Indian reservation, stealing stop signs, you know.
Real criminal here.
Oh God, just stupid stuff, you know. And well, I took a bottle of what was that? Goldschlager or something.
Yeah.
Tastes like peppermint. I don't know. Took that to the high school dance. Now, prior to the high school dance, I had been dating this guy. He was the star basketball player. He was the #1 jock in the high school. And I was actually attending regular high school.
Okay.
For the first
from the
time,
foster home.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, for the first time in my life, I felt like I was a normal kid.
Right.
Because all my growing up, I had always been in private school and this and that. And it was just, I got bounced around. We did lots of moving. My dad started a church in Colorado. Then he went to Utah. I don't know. It was just all over the place. And then Wyoming and then the girls' home. And my whole schooling was all mixed up.
Right.
So for the first time, I felt like I was kind of normal. I had a little locker, and I had books, and I went to class, you know, and it was like, oh, okay, yeah. But every day out at lunch, in Wyoming, the drinking age is 18 or 19.
At that time?
Oh yeah, and still.
Oh, okay.
I think still.
Oh, okay.
And in Wyoming, they have drive-through liquor. You drive through and you go, yeah, I need a 6-pack of whatever, and they'll give it to you right out the window.
Wow.
So at lunch, me and my friends from school, we would go and do our drinking and smoking weed and this and that at lunch. And I was just still doing what Ange wanted to do, okay? Partying, going crazy, and really, you know, just making a mess of myself. Well, I got caught bringing booze to the high school dance.
Right.
That was a big no-no.
Right.
So, because of that, my foster parents had to tell the judge, and then they said, okay, well, we're going to send her to the Wyoming State Girls Home.
Right.
So, they put me in jail to hold me until they could transport me, because the Wyoming State Girls Home was up in Sheridan, and I was in Riverton. Well, they took me up there, but while I was in jail, I had a little boo-boo on me, and they sent me to the doctor. Well, now I found out I was pregnant.
Oh, really? And how old are you at this point?
16.
16 and pregnant.
Yes. Just turned 16.
16 and pregnant.
Yeah, pregnant.
How'd that change your mentality?
Oh, God, I was being sent to another home, which to me was like jail.
Right.
You know, so I just was like, well, this is how I'm going to get out of here. Because they're not going to keep me here with this baby, you know. I figured, there's no way.
Right.
I just was going to do whatever, and I was getting out of there. They ain't going to stop me.
Right.
Nobody's going to stop me from anything.
Right. Back to the rebel.
So, yep. So yeah, I went through their little schmeal. They were going to force me to, they wanted me to have an abortion. I said, nope, not going to do it. You cannot force me to do that. They said, well, we're going to take your baby after it's born. I said, no, you're not. You can't do that. Oh, yes, we are. We're going to. And they took me to this house, and they showed me where they were going to take, you know, the baby was going to go. And I don't know, that wasn't going to happen either. So I go into labor. I have my baby. I was there the full term of my pregnancy.
Okay.
And this was in Sheridan, Wyoming. And then the day I'm in labor, I'm getting ready to have this baby, and my mom, they call my mom, I guess, and she drives all the way from Riverton to Sheridan, and she shows up. And I haven't seen my mom at all, because remember, I was taken away from them, and I was in foster care.
Right.
So, I don't know, but she signed me out of that place and brought me home with the new baby. And basically, my mom and dad were like, well, you're going to have to, you can't stay here. My dad threw me out after 2 weeks.
With the newborn baby?
With the brand new baby. And I don't know how the cops or somebody helped me. I don't remember who helped me, but they took me to some welfare thing, and got me on welfare and helped me get put up in a little apartment. And I got 2 jobs. I worked from 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I started my shift at Wendy's, and it was like a brand new Wendy's. It was all a big deal in the little dinky town of Riverton. And I went to work at 4 o'clock there, got off at around 11:30 or close to midnight, and I walked right down the street to my second job, which was Mini Mart. And I started my night shift at Mini Mart, and I worked until 10 o'clock in the morning.
Dang.
So I worked 2 jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I decided, my dad had a sister that lived here in Sacramento.
Okay.
And she lived out in West Sac. And I called her up, or somehow she got a hold of me. I got a hold of her, and she said, you need to get the heck out of there. Wyoming is not where you belong. You need to come back to California. I said, yeah, that sounds great. Can I do it? I got to save my money. And she goes, no, you don't. She goes, how much money do you have? And I said, okay, I got this amount. I'm paying for an airline ticket. Anyway, I flew out here back to Sacramento, and I stayed with her.
With your baby?
With my baby.
Right.
And so I had him, and he was new and everything. And I stayed there for about a year.
Okay.
Getting little jobs here and there. Got a job at Kenny Shoes in the mall downtown.
Oh, wow. I remember that store.
Remember the mall downtown?
Yeah, I do remember the Birdcage. No,
No.
K Street Mall?
Yeah, K Street.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And I got a job there, and then I think I moved to Arden Mall. Got working at Arden Mall, doing something else. I don't remember. I've had so many jobs. But then, you know, here I was out on the streets, because my aunt was like, man, you can't stay here no more.
Oh, wow.
You know how, I don't
Get
know.
burnt out.
I don't know why. She just was like, you need to get your own place. And she was good to me, you know, and I worked really hard to try and get into my own place. And I did. And I was renting a room here, renting a room there. It was hard because I had to have my job and pay for a babysitter. And,
right.
you know, so my son was getting put over here and put over there. And I'm going to this job and that. Finally, I remember my son was about 11 months old, and I called my parents, and I said, hey, if you guys love me, man, you got to help me. I don't know why I thought they would help me. I don't know.
Yeah, their track record doesn't seem like it would.
So, but I put my trust in them, and
Right.
so I asked my mom to take my son just for a few months until I could get more stable, you know, and she said no problem. So I had gotten a better job. I got a job working at Coca-Cola in the warehouse, and I was making pretty good money. Oh, but you know what? I forgot. I left out one important part. Prior to Coca-Cola, I was working at this boat shop, and I was just the boat washer. It was Precision Marine, and I was the boat washer.
I think that's still around.
That used to be on the corner of Orange Grove Avenue and Roseville Road.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Out there. Now it's not a boat shop anymore.
Right.
That's gone. But anyhow, that guy was good to me, the owner. He let me, I was like a little delivery driver. I would get in his truck and go deliver parts and stuff. And I'd go, he'd send me down, pick up boats. I did a lot of things for that boat place. But the key thing about that was that somebody invited me to go to a party on a houseboat up at Lake Englebright. And I was like, sure, I'm going to go. Party? Of course, I'm there. You know, party. You say the word party, I'm there. You know?
Right.
So.
Rebel still lives.
Oh, yeah. So I went to this party, and, well, long story short, that's where I met my husband. Now, I was 18 years old, almost 19 when I married him, but he was 33. So he was 13 years older than me. Something like that.
Right.
And the way it happened was I just kind of looked at him like he could take care of me because I was struggling.
Right.
You know, with these minimum wage jobs and, you know, having to go and sleep with this guy just so I could stay at his place or whatever. You know, I was just so done with all that. I wanted to be taken care of. And, well, I put my trust in this guy, and I was married. I got married to him. Well, the thing about it was my mom and dad would not give my son back to me. They said, no, we're not giving him back until you're married. Because they were kind of, you know, very, very, very religious, and that was their belief that I needed to have a husband, you know.
Right.
So I told him this, and he said, okay, well, I'll marry you. And so we got married. And I was 19, I think. When
So
I got
you
married.
met him at a houseboat party.
Yep.
He's obviously twice your age.
And yeah.
You guys get married. Now, did you care about him, or like you said, you wanted somebody to take care of you, and you wanted an avenue to be able to get your child back?
Yes.
Okay.
So really, I liked him a lot. He was cute. I thought he was handsome and all, and I was really attracted to the idea of having an actual life, and he really like presented that promise to me. And actually, he came through. I was able to take my money from my job and buy myself a car because I didn't have to pay rent or anything.
Right.
I was able to save up money for a car, and he just kind of helped me. He really, really did help me.
Right.
And here I was married, and things were going good. But, you know, for him, he wanted a arm candy. He was looking for somebody who was perfect looking.
Right.
And I was pretty. I had body image issues because after I had my baby, of course, you know what happens to your breasts. And so, anyhow, long story short.
I'm leaving that one alone. I'm not saying nothing about that one.
Long story short, he helped me. He paid for boob job.
Okay.
Okay, which is no more. It's gone. But so here I was, looking like Miss America, all perfect, and lots of things happened. And
Well, you say lots of things.
oh gosh.
What do you mean by lots of things?
Well,
Like,
okay.
let's not skip over the good stuff.
Oh man,
Yeah.
this stuff is like crazy.
We can't skip over all the good
Oh
stuff.
man, I don't know if y'all remember the Shy Road Pub. It used to be a bar where lots of rockers would go, and they, you know, this was back in the hair farmer days. That's what I called guys with long hair.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So Now my husband, I was always loyal and you know whatnot. Well, on my 21st birthday, this woman that I knew, her kids went to school with my son. And so therefore I associated with her because my son was schoolmates with her children.
Right.
So then her and I'd had coffee and cigarettes and we'd hang out and have cocktails and whatnot while the kids are at school. Actually, it was worse than that. We would blend up whole blenders of whatever the heck and then run back to the store and get more. And by the time the kids got home, we were so hammered, we'd have the hose in the house squirting each other down. It was pretty bad. So, anyway, lots of drinking during that time.
So the pub.
Oh, so on my 21st birthday, sorry, I did get sidetracked there. On my 21st birthday, this gal said, I'm going to take you to the Shy Road pub.
Okay.
I said, oh, okay. She goes, yeah, it's lots of fun. It's a rock band that's going to be playing there. I was like, okay, that sounds amazing. Let's go. So she takes me and we get there and there's this kind of famous rock band. Can I say their name?
Absolutely.
Well, Tesla.
Oh yeah, from Oak Park.
Okay, so, and I'm like looking at these guys, and then there was another band who kind of opened up for them, I think. And so there was a few of them there. And there was this one guy, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's so cute. You know, at that age, I'm 21, every guy's looking cute to me, all right? and I'm like, you know, it was super crowded in the bar, and the next thing I know, it's 2 a.m., they're closing the bar down, and I cannot find my friend at all. I'm looking everywhere and I'm crying and the car's gone and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm stuck here. And my husband's going to kill me, you know? And this dude, the same one that I pointed out to her when we first got there, he was one of the band members, and all I said to her was, oh, he's so fine, you know? Mm-hmm. Well, she had gone up to him, not without my knowledge, and I guess told him, hey, my friend likes you. She wants to do you, and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Oh, and so it's 2 a.m. and I'm like, I don't know where my friend is. And he's the only person around. He's like, I know where your friend is. She's with my friend.